Complete with Walk the Talk caps and t-shirts, this group from the British Psychology Society are taking the long and winding path from Leicester 100 miles to the capital. They're raising their voices for those they say have been silent.
We've got to carry absolutely everything we're going to eat and sleep and hand out along the way, so I thought I'd get really minimalist about it all.
Feeling good. We've had some aches, some pains, but we're doing good now. Morale's lifted again. So.
All the psychologists here with us today are saying, I was pointing this out to local councillors in Leicester, that these were issues that were going to arise, and now they are actually arising.
Do you feel as though you're getting your message across?
I do, yeah. It's really important that people understand the interaction between social and financial situations. You know, few of us have been in so much pain while we've been doing this, but we've always known that if it comes to it, if I break my leg or I'm in a really bad way, I can stop, I can leave. But the people that we're doing this for, they have no choice. They're stuck in that situation.
I'm Weatherhead. I'm a clinical psychologist specialising in brain injury and part of the WalkTheTalk gang.
So I'm Suzanne Elliott. I'm a clinical psychologist and I work in Leicester with people who are homeless.
My name's James. I was on WalkTheTalk in 2015. And I'm here today to see Luciana Berger, and she's the Shadow Minister for Mental Health.
Kavinder Singh. I was 25, 26 in 2 weeks. I was 21 selling drugs, and then I've ended up with breakdown in relationship with family. On the Dawn Centre, I got clued onto mental health.
Hi, my name's James. I was asked to come on the trip through Walk, and I was very excited, and I thought it would be a great opportunity, seeing I've never been to Westminster.
I'm Anne. I have been homeless in Leicester. I went into the Dawn Centre for a few months to sort myself out. I was given help and support by the staff. We were greatly overworked and underpaid.
I was homeless just before last summer to about Christmas time, and I used to live at the Dawn Centre, you know, and it was for the help of the Dawn Centre that I was able to get a flat.
They've shut some other hostels and people have ended up on the streets. You have people on the streets, which turns into more crime. Crime funds drugs, alcohol, more problems for more little people like us. And it's, you know, it's not on really. Sanctions on benefits for the slightest little thing, you miss your signing time, you get sanctioned.
Food banks than there ever were in 2004. But we as a local grassroots organisation, we weren't asked to be set up by government. We don't get government money. We're supported entirely by, you know, the goodwill and the support of people in the community. They give us the food, they give us their time as volunteers, and thankfully they give us money as well. And that combination has kept us going and growing. As the need has escalated, and I suppose the biggest development has been in the last 3 or 4 years. We've gone from 9,000 to 14,000 food parcels.
First of all, before we talk about the walk, how much of an issue do you think mental health is within people that use centres like this?
A lot, because everybody else has got drug problems, drink problems, and it all culminates into mental health problems as well. So when I moved in here, I had really bad mental health problems, really, really bad. If it weren't for these, I really wouldn't be here now.
Do you think enough is done?
No.
You don't?
No, because then if you've got your place, you can't come here. They won't help you. You have to go to your doctors and other places, so you can't see the CPNs here or anything. So I think that's just a bit unfair, really, especially when you've been seeing it for so many months, and then all of a sudden you've got to go to somebody else and tell somebody else all your problems, and then it all comes out again. All the pain and everything else comes out, and it just goes round and round in circles.
I really want to get out of today is to be able to communicate some of the stories that we heard on the walk, that we've collected since the walk, and that I hear every day in my clinical psychology role.
Being on the streets is horrendous. It's not a choice anybody chooses to make.
I've come here to see Luciana Berger to help share some of the stories of the people that have got lived experience of homelessness and poverty and the benefit system and mental health difficulties, and our goal today was to just let somebody with a lot more power than me or these guys have got hear their stories so they can use their power and their stories to affect change.
Okay, so strategy is we've got half an hour with Luciana, that's all, just 30 minutes, and what we need to do is get your stories across. So that means 5 minutes each and then a little bit of time for a chat afterwards. So you okay with doing that? Yeah.
How are you feeling? Nervous?
Nope. Social justice is really, really high on the BPS agenda. It wasn't, but it is now, because I was determined, to put it there. And there are lots of people in the society, all sorts of people, including Steve, many, many others, who are working hard. So, but what it needs, as well as the groundswell from the bottom, it needs the support from the top. So basically, we put social justice right on the agenda. We are having a long-running dialogue with the Department of Work and Pensions about the way in which they assess people for work capability assessments, employee support allowance, personal independent payments. Basically, from a psychological point of view, the current system is flawed and needs fixing, and we're letting them know about it.
I'm in opposition, so I will use my voice. That's what I do every single day, and endeavour to do my very best to hold the government to account, but also to think constructively about how we, as the Labour Party, can and should be doing things differently. So it's hearing your stories that really.
You've got a voice. You've got the space to hear these voices and pass
Indeed.
that on.
Yeah, most certainly.
And you'll come to a situation like this and think, people have got huge, tremendous, often traumatic, scary, painful stories, and the reason they've got those stories is because of life being crappy to them and the systems that we've got in place not supporting them in the way that they should. And you want to get that message across to the people who can affect the change and make sure that that pain is reduced and that other people don't face that pain.
When you hear stories like the ones you've heard today and the ones that are in that document that I've given you, what can you do with those? When you're hearing them and you're thinking, this would be really useful for doing such and such?
So it's really helpful to assist me to ask the right questions, and that's why it's really important to hear your stories, to understand what the impacts of all the government changes are. Because unless you hear those stories, and you don't know what questions to be asking, and the government are really clever at dodging questions. So if you actually have the specific circumstances, then you can craft the question to actually get things on the parliamentary record to expose what's going on.
Because it was hoped for, I wanted to do go the extra mile, and see if telling my story would actually, to an MP, make some difference. And I really do think it's happened today. She was really, really good, very attentive, very listening. It's very, very good.
We had some questions today that were named questions, and again we're talking about very specific people. So, for instance, on food poverty, I asked the PMQ previously, because I'd been to Erewash and I'd met a young man who's 19 called Billy, and I'm in my PMQ I asked about Billy, who had gone skipping. And I asked the Prime Minister about skipping. Until I'd been to Erewash, I didn't know about skipping, but he did skipping to find some food. And again, it's quite then when you're actually talking about an individual and a specific person, it's hard for the Prime Minister or anyone answering the questions to deflect, and he did have to answer it. So.
And I'm trying to hold in my head, okay, well, we've got to make sure that the stories are told that will affect change, but it also feeling tormented, thinking, well, the way that's going to happen is if they can tell the most painful parts of their stories.
In terms of what change actually comes forward as a result, we've obviously seen a small bit of change to really push back against the PIP changes, and we wait and see if we'll have any more success when it comes to ESA and all the other stuff. Obviously, we've heard now from the new Work and Pension Secretary that they don't plan, and stress again that they're very careful with their language. He said they don't plan.
Yeah, they don't.
They're not planning any future changes to welfare over this Parliament. We wait to see if that's true. But I think there's obviously a lot of pressure being exerted. I'm one of those voices, one of a number of people, not just within the opposition benches, but more broadly. I can assure you that we are united as the Shadow Cabinet and more broadly as all the Labour opposition MPs to do our very best to hold the government to account.
And basically just telling her about my experiences and experiences that other people have had with the benefit system and how that's impacted on people's mental health.
Your stories really helped me to articulate and to personalise what
these guys will take that back and tell everybody that you speak to, your story has been heard, and it does matter about individuals.
It really does matter, It really does matter. I'd always encourage people to show up at their MP surgeries and to make sure that your voice is heard, because that's the strongest, most powerful message. I get a lot of emails and I read all those emails, but actually meeting people face to face, as we've done today, makes so much more of an impact.
Perfect. Like we're riding. Perfect. Well, thank you. Well done. Well done.
Thanks.
We just had about a 40-minute meeting with her. It's quite constructive. We got all of our points across, and hopefully she will be challenging the government on some of the issues that we've raised today, and hopefully try and hold them to account.
Being able to go into an MP and tell your story and have them listen to you like Luciana did was amazing. And if it's not for people like her, these things would not be highlighted. And the psychologists that organised this event, all credit to them, because without them we wouldn't have the voice to speak to an MP.